TED seems to be a community dedicated not only to new information, but also new ways of thinking. I'm not here to share any sort of tragic story or give you motivational advice. I'm here to change your perspective on some everyday activities that often get poor reputations. Some of the most common activities of which people my age take part may be much healthier than you think. Not only do they provide some unknown benefits to the ones who currently use it, but they also have much greater applications that, with testing and perfection, could literally change the future for everybody. Now, what could be so wonderful? What are these everyday miracles? Well, three of my favorite things: coffee, music, and video games. Now, how many of you have been told you drink too much coffee? How many of you have been told not to distract yourself with music while you're trying to study? How many of you have told your children to get off those newfangled video games and kick a ball? How many of you have been the kids in that scenario? While yes, there can be drawbacks to too much of anything, use of these activities in healthy doses has amazing benefits. Let's start with coffee. For most of us, it starts our day. Gives you that extra little kick that you need to begin the next few hours of work or study. Some enjoy the taste, while others put up with it rather than suffer the consequences of sleeping on the job. However, coffee has more benefits and applications than many of us realize. For instance, the caffeine content in coffee will boost your metabolism before a workout. It helps you feel energized and has been proven to burn more calories during exercise. Even if you aren't working out, coffee boosts your adrenaline levels. This helps you turn your fat cells into acids that are ready to be used by your body as energy. Aside from fat burning and energy, coffee has an unusual link to depression and suicide. In a study done by the Harvard School of Public Health, women who drank 4 cups of coffee per day lowered their risk of depression by a whopping 20%. And women who drank 2 or more cups per day were less likely to commit suicide. A cup of coffee is actually rich in vitamins as well, giving you approximately 10% of your recommended daily amounts of vitamins B2, B3, B5, manganese, and potassium. Not only does it affect your daily health, but it can also affect your long-term health. Coffee has been linked to the prevention of several diseases such as type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, many liver diseases, and even cancer. Now, before you sprint to the nearest Starbucks, let me share more on 2 other activities that I enjoy. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about music. Who doesn't love to turn up their favorite songs once they begin to drive? Well, if that's about as far as listening to music goes for you, I have a few more applications for you to try. Insomnia is terrible. We've all had our fair share of restless nights stuck tossing and turning in the covers, but before you look for some sleeping meds, try listening to some classical music. While works of Mozart and Beethoven might not be everyone's favorite jam, a study done on college students showed that listening to classical music is actually a very effective treatment for insomnia. Now, have you ever had music that just made you feel good? Did it empower you, make you happier, motivate you to exercise harder? Well, there's actually a neat science behind this. Along with these emotions you feel, your blood vessels are also allowing for increased blood flow, which in itself has many benefits, such as carrying oxygen to the muscles in your limbs and your brain. Finally, my personal favorite application: listening to music to improve studious retainment. Have you ever had to cram information into your memory for tomorrow's test or presentation? Well, studies show that the dopamine release from music improves your attention, and thus reinforces how much you remember. Instrumental music is best so that your brain doesn't try to listen to the lyrics, but regardless, music can change the rate at which you learn and memorize. Lastly, I'm going to tell you why it is actually beneficial to play video games. Video games are the entertainment of the future. If you think about it, in 35 short years, we've gone from the 8-bit NES to fully immersive virtual reality headsets. However, video games won't just entertain us. They'll find applications ranging all the way to medical uses. Why? Because they already provide healthy benefits that we don't realize. As many of us know, smoking is an addictive and deadly habit. The drug nicotine grabs its victims and refuses to let them go. However, video games may have a solution. Multiplayer video games, to be precise, when played with a close friend or a romantic partner, have been proven to trigger the same exact reward centers in your brain as nicotine. Simply sitting on a couch and gaming with a friend could dull nicotine cravings immensely. However, providing rewards for your brain isn't the only thing gaming has up its sleeve. In a study conducted at the University of Washington Harborview Burn Center, burn victims undergoing painful treatment wore virtual reality headsets and explored a game called Snow World. These patients reported being able to ignore the pain 92% of the time, and all participants felt an average of 30 to 50% pain reduction. That's a greater relief than morphine. You may be wondering how this works. Well, the brain can only let in a certain amount of information at one time. This is called the spotlight theory of attention. When our brains are focusing on mentally demanding games, it isn't paying as much attention to other stimuli like smells and pain. Not only can they do amazing things with your mind, but video games can also massively reduce stress and anxiety. These marvels are becoming cure-alls. So I hope I've taught you something new today. Some of these very common habits can get poor reputations when they actually deserve the opposite. When given the right applications, music, coffee, and video games can work miracles on our minds and bodies. So go grab a cup of coffee with some friends, jam to your favorite songs on the way there, and finish the day with some gaming. Not only will it provide you with a good time, but it will also provide you with good health. Thank you.